kids grow. I mean, I couldn't be there to watch it. I know it's only 11 days for most people, or if you haven't been through it yet, it's like, okay, it's not much, but
It's almost 2 weeks.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, alongside that, I felt for her because, and just I think to backtrack, we never knew that it was going to be 11 days. So, like I said, we thought it would be like 2 3 days. Okay, cool. So I went home that day, and I told her she must just message me when she's up and whatever the case is. So then I just waited, and then I think she slept and stuff, and then you can talk about how the experience was from there.
Yeah, so that same day, towards the evening, I was okay, and then my body just started like itching, like it was like crazy, like I needed to like dig my nails into my skin, and I had to call the nurses, and they told me no, it's just a reaction to the epidural. A lot of women experience that, so they gave me something for that, and I ended up sleeping through the night. Then the next morning I woke up, and then the nurse came and was like, "You need to get on your feet now." Let me just say, that was the hardest thing I've ever had to do, ever. It was worse than giving birth to the child because I didn't feel a thing. But yeah, if for those of you that have had a Caesar, getting up and to just it's like you're a child and you're taking your first step. That's how it feels. It was like crazy. But yeah, I did that. I had a bath and everything, and then they told me that towards the afternoon I'd be able to go and see the babies. And yeah, then the afternoon came, and finally, over a day later, I got to meet my children. And yeah, it was very hard to see them like that, not the way I imagined, because they had tubes running down their throat to feed them. I couldn't hold them at that point, they didn't let me. But yeah, then they told me that they were feeding them formula and they were vomiting a lot. So at that point I was like, no, it's not agreeing with them, let me try breastfeeding. But because they were still small, and they were born at 34 weeks and 4 days, and they didn't develop the suckling reflex, so they couldn't. And that only develops after week 35. So even if I wanted to breastfeed them, I couldn't. So I had to go and express. And also that helped me recover from the Caesar a lot, because I knew they were in a different ward. I had to walk every 3 hours to go and give them the milk for the babies, because I couldn't feed them and no one would come and collect it from me. So yeah, so I did that every 3 hours. I was expressing and giving milk for the babies, and they took to it well, but they wanted to keep them in the NICU ward, because they said that unless they developed that reflex on their own and they were able to drink from a bottle, then only could they send them home. Otherwise they'd come home with us and they wouldn't be feeding. So yeah, we had to just wait it out.
So yeah, so every day was just, well, me checking in, video calling her, and at that point, I mean, I could see the babies because she would be there in the ward, and I'd see them over video call. But I think every day it was like, how are they doing? I can, the goal was to hear that they could, the suckling reflex was there. Yeah, and like she said, it was 34 weeks, and so was it 4 days or whatever, and they say at 35 weeks. So if we were doing like literal calculations, saying, oh, we got 3 days, that's like, okay, then that's 35 weeks and they should start now. But like, we were just monitoring them the whole time, and I was at home. I was at home just waiting to hear from her, carrying on, and like I just was waiting to hear that the doc saying, yeah, it's fine, we can send them home. But I even called him a few times, and he was like, no, this is how they're doing and stuff like that. And he couldn't give me a date. I like even asked him and stuff, but he couldn't give me a date. And I understand why, because they're managing the expectation. They want to tell me, okay, in so many days. then the day comes and then they say no, they're not ready. So I understood that, but it was just hard. So I had to just check in with her every day, and it went on like that until the 11th. Not the 11th day. It was, I think, the 10th day, and then we saw progress. I don't know if there's anything else you want to say before that, but we saw the progress from them.
So just to let you know that the reason why they had to stay in NICU for so long, if we took them home, it was up to us. We could have taken them home, but if you go back to the hospital with them and if they're not feeding properly or anything like that, they don't go back to NICU. You go and you see a normal pediatrician who can't offer you the same things that's in that ward. So that's the reason. Like, even I got discharged on day 3, but I had to stay on as a border mom, and we had to, that's not even like costs we expected to pay for, but it was an additional thing, and I had to do it because if I left, I even asked them, I wasn't allowed back in the hospital. So even if, and the babies needed the milk, so it was too crazy to think about going home and expressing and coming, even though I couldn't have the children throughout the day or whatever. I needed to see them every 3 hours just to make sure they were okay. So I stayed on as a border mom, and yes, every day we saw like progress, and you'd have like a hard day, like in between there was like a day where Liana didn't feed at all, like she just spat everything that they were giving her in the bottle. And I messaged him and I was like, I don't know how long it's going to be because she's not drinking. And Elena was okay. We could have taken Elena home, but like how do you do things like that? We wanted to take them both home together. So we just decided to let them both stay there. And yeah, and the nurses told me like, your baby can't go home until she finishes this whole bottle. And by like day 9, she was drinking a lot, and I was like, no, this is good enough. When she comes home, she'll be like in a safe environment, she'll know her parents, and she'll feed from us. I'll make sure she feeds from us. And it was a gamble we took, but we had to make that decision because I couldn't have her there any longer, because I knew she would be okay at home with us.
But I think like on the 10th day, when we got feedback from the pediatrician, I think even before that, I think he just mentioned, they're doing well and it looks good, like they'll be coming home soon and stuff. But like I said, there was no dates or anything. And then I think when we reached the 10th day, then he was like, no, he's happy if they come home.
The nurses were on a shift, obviously, and the babies were seeing like 2 nurses a day, and 4 nurses a day. And obviously it wasn't the same nurses all the time, so everyone had different feeding methods and different ways to carry them. And for me, that was like a big concern, and I knew that if they stayed in hospital any longer, they were not going to get in like a good pattern, because everyone was doing things differently. They had to get used to the way we did things, the way we fed them, the way we carried them. So that's why when the pediatrician asked us like, are you sure you want to take them home? Are you going to be okay with them? We just said yes, we will do things our way and they will be okay. So yeah, on day 11 we got the note for discharge. We just want to give a small shout out to Lindiwe Zulu. She passed away from COVID, I think last week, and she taught me so much. I had so many questions. I was so nervous about everything, but those 11 days she just took me through everything, from breastfeeding to holding them, to birthing them, to changing their nappies. She was so, I don't have the words. When I found out she passed away, I cried, because she held such a special place in my heart. And even when we left, she said, please, you have to send me pictures of these babies when they turn a year old. I need to see how they're growing and how big they're gone. And yeah, people like that really make a difference. And we're so grateful. We had such an amazing team for the birth and delivery.
So yeah, so it was day of discharge, and I was like, day has arrived to see my kids. It was nerve wracking. I haven't seen them for 11 days. It was over the phone, stressing whether they were doing okay and stuff. And yeah, and then we agreed that our moms come on the day as well, just to hold the babies. Because she wouldn't be in a proper condition to move around.
And they were too small for the car seats.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just like during the 11 days, it was a bit tricky because of COVID, and whenever I had to leave something for her, I couldn't go up to the ward and be like, hey, here's your stuff. I couldn't see her, so I had to drop things by the security.
Because mind you, I only packed for 3 days.
Oh yes, and I think more importantly, we didn't pack for the kids because we did assume that they'd be out. So I had to buy nappies, and I had to buy those milk bags, those breast milk bags.
More bum cream and more wet wipes because they were there and they were using a lot.
So I had to leave that stuff all the time, and that itself was so annoying because I'm like, I couldn't see anyone, again. But anyway, that's over and done. So on the day of discharge, the parents are waiting in the car. I go up. So then I go in, they let me in, and I wait outside the maternity ward for her to come out with the babies. And then as I stand there, then I see her. And did you come out first? No.
No, then Divya came out first. She pushed the baby.
Oh yeah. So I should remember that. My memory is bad. Anyway, so yeah, she came. Lindiwe came out with the babies, and she was like such a vibrant person, just like bubbly, and
she had a big personality.
Yeah, and she came out with this like thing,
trolley thing,
yeah.
And they were both in it.
Yeah, and it was like, it wasn't even a big like thing. It was like just for one baby, but like because they were so small, they both like fit in, and they were like big blankets, but they were like just small.
We'll show you a picture. I took a picture out there. And then she like just walks past him and she goes into the left and I'm behind her like ding, ding, ding. And then he comes in the left with us and then I'm like, hey, meet your children.
Yeah, it was like there too. I'm just like another dude, like just okay. But anyway, when we were in the lift, then I just had a peek, or because the babies were covered, I just had a peek, saw them, and it was so, just heartwarming seeing them there in front of me. But I think for me, even at that point, just to share, it's not that I was like, oh, I'm a father now, and it hit me, and I was like emotional, and like, just everything. I was still like how I was when I was in theater, where I was detached, but detached from the emotion, but I think it was for me, it was just more important and priority that things go accordingly, so I was more concerned about that. So I didn't link it at that point. So yeah, then we go downstairs and then we hand the babies to the grannies.
Yeah, that moment.
Yeah. And there I was. It's like I didn't care. It's like I didn't care. I was there taking all the stuff, putting in the food. And it's like, I was like, I didn't have the luxury to savor the moments and stuff like that. Because as a guy, that's what's expected of you. You have to do what you have to do.
And especially with what was going on, like with this whole COVID story, you need to get them in the car quickly before like anyone walks past or anything. It's like a fear. Everyone get in the car.
Get that out of here. This place kept them for too long. Get that out of here. But yeah, that's also partly I think what drove us in the back of our minds, because COVID it was still sort of fresh and we like just were very cautious, like because we knew how much the kids went through to that point, so we were like, nowadays we're not letting anything happen. So yeah, that goes for us as well, and yeah. So I just wanted them in the car. I wanted to take them home. Our home was our home, and that's where we could just take a breather and stuff like that. So yeah. Then we got home.
Then we got home and he finally had his moment. We will show you a picture of him with both of them.
Um, yeah, as much as she's saying it's that moment, but it was the moment. It's different. It was the moment where I just got to see them and hold them, but still, it wasn't the moment where I'm like, I'm the father to these children, and these are my children, and all of that. I still felt like I was chilling, like I'm gonna, like, it's just another day. Tomorrow's gonna be another day. I didn't expect anything else. I wouldn't say I felt complete relief because it was still sort of where the journey is going to begin, and I was worried because she was still in stitches, and didn't know what she could do, what she can't do, and what I need to do to just make things easier for her, and how much can she do for the kids where I need to help and do, and it was just me and her. Even that night, it was just me and her with the two babies.
Like our mothers offered, but we needed the babies with just us. And by day 11, I felt like I was okay to handle things and move around, carry them on my own. And I don't want to take that experience away from him. Like, he already didn't have us for so long. Now we needed to be a family and work through things on our own. Even if the babies cried the whole night, it was something we had to go through on our own. So yeah.
So yeah, I had to sort of mentally prepare for everything, and for me, babies sort of weren't like new. I wasn't scared that oh, it's a baby. How do you take care of a baby and stuff? That was nowhere close to my mind because I've seen two babies before, and I'm good with babies and stuff like that. So that wasn't the concern. The concern was with there's two babies, so she's in stitches, and I don't know what she needs or how long she needs to be in bed or whatever it is, and like how do I manage two babies? So I was like very sort of analytical, like I said in the other videos, where I was just like, okay, like you need to do this, that, time, blah blah blah. So I didn't write it down. I'm just saying mentally. But yeah, I mean, I have to give props to the wifey, strong woman. To see her on the bed, on the table, on the cutting table, on the chopping table, no, on the table, delivering the babies like that. It was, and then knowing that she was in hospital for so long. I mean, any of us, I've been in hospital also, but like it's just the worst place to be, and mentally it takes a strain. And she stayed there for that long. I mean, she obviously wanted to leave, but because of the babies and stuff, she pulled through for them, and it was admirable to see. So when I saw her, I mean, I just wanted to be there and do everything as much as I could, just to make her feel that I'm there supporting her, and I don't want her to feel like she's just doing everything on her own. So yeah, but still, she was chilling. Like, she didn't give birth to these two babies. She was just there, out and about. I expected her to be in bed, but she's dancing around the house and everything.
I just felt like I needed to get things going. Like, if you get complacent in something, I mean, there's two babies to look after, and for us, we couldn't turn to anyone for advice. We kind of had to figure this thing out on our own. So there was no time to sit and relax. I needed to stick to the routine the hospital had and make sure these babies like adjusted well, so we didn't end up back in hospital with them. So yeah, we made it through.
Yeah, I mean, in the next video, that we're probably going to cover most things about that first month or whatever, how long we're going to cover, but it's basically going to talk about those days, covering those first days with them, and what we experienced and stuff like that.
Guys.
But you know what?
We made it
Alhamdulillah.
6 months later. So we've been waiting for 6 months so we can finally put our babies' faces up.
So after this video, you're probably gonna see pictures and stuff of how we were at the hospital when the babies were delivered and how they were.
So we were supposed to show the babies in this video, but like always, we filming this at 10 o'clock at night and the babies are fast asleep. So we're gonna do a short video tomorrow, edit it in and show you our babies and let you meet them for the first time. And then we can finally put them on our page as well.
Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I know some of our videos are a bit lengthy, we work on it. I mean, we try, but we're just happy to cover everything and share our story. So for those of you who enjoyed it and went through all the videos and stick around for so long, thank you. And yeah, there's going to be fun stuff coming in now. I think we just want to cover all the detail from this bit, but it's going to be a bit more fun as we go get further. Make sure you guys check out our Instagram page for all the fun reels. And if you haven't subscribed yet to the YouTube channel, and you may do so.
And like.
Oh yes, and like. Thanks guys. Until next time.
See ya.
Peace out.
Hey guys, so as promised, meet our
Hi.
babies.
No, look that way.
Look here. Hello. So this is Liana. And this is Elena.
Hey baby.
So as you can see, it's not easy to put them on camera.
Because they're too cute.
But now that they're shown, we'll be showing you a lot more pictures, guys.
Okay.
Say bye. See you soon. Thanks, guys.